Recording in progress.
Right. So we'll have a first speaker today, Dr. Oluniyi. Um, I think he's going to be talking a lot. I had a very good conversation with him when he started working for the civil service, and he provided a lot of very useful tips. And I felt that, oh, well, this guy is he has a lot to offer, and I think he was very passionate about providing some tips for people who are interested in public sector jobs. I think one thing about public sector jobs is the stability of the role. So I think he has a lot of things to share. And I think it's a good one to have Dr. Olini today. So yeah, Nii, I'll hand over to you to carry on with your presentation.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Here we can. You can maximize it.
Hey, yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
I think you are on the civil service job page now. I think you left the word page.
Okay, the civil service page now.
I think you are still. I don't know if it's me. I'm still seeing your civil service page. You want to show us the word page, right?
Okay,
You're not on that page anymore. That's what I'm saying.
I'm on the screen when I use two screens, don't worry.
You're now on your email page.
Yeah, don't worry, I can see, don't worry about that.
Okay.
Mm. That my screen again. At the top. Hold on. Can you see my screen now?
Now you have to share. You're not you've unshared your screen. You have to share it back again.
Can you see now, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Uh, Thank you very much. Good evening. I just decided to make this on one screen so that you'll be able to see instead of using a PowerPoint slide, so that we'll be able to see many information at the same time. Okay. My name is Niyi. Right. When I got to UK, I call myself Ola. I realized that that one is easier to pronounce. So, but normally people call me Niyi. Okay. I don't make it so snappy. Uh, I was looking for a job, and somehow I got my sister has been in UK for long, told me that Secret Service that is only for those that are British citizens. So I didn't bother to apply. Until one day I saw a Secret Service, they were doing like a road show online webinar. So I mean, I joined. I asked them question. I said that your job is only restricted to citizens. They said no. I said, so I was. They said no. That it's so easy for them to when anybody get to civil service. So I said I will try again. So I went to the site, and I realized that it was just about. I mean, it's so easy to even apply to get a civil service job. So when I realized that, I started applying. By the time I applied, I made three applications. I knew I would get in the civil service. At that time, I was telling people that please go to the civil service website, apply, but they will not listen. Why would they listen to me? Because I had not got a job there, so they were not listening. Until I got in, they started listening to me, and I've got a lot of people, at least 5 to 10 now that I've told that and they've entered into civil service. So I've been telling people about it. Uh, One Uber driver asked me one day, where do I work? I said, with the service. He said, it's too difficult to enter. I said, no. He said, many people have been telling him that it's so difficult. I just gave him my number. I said, give to anybody you like. tell them if you want to enter civil service, talk to me. I'll walk them through. And that's why I decide to share this. You may not need this job, but you may have cousins, many people, my friends that will need the job in the civil service. I can tell you it's so easy to enter the civil service. All right. Okay. So when we call 5 practical steps, I've tried to put it in stages. Like for a civil service role, their website can see it's civil service jobs.service.gov.uk. Just type civil service on Google, you see that. Then the first thing to do is that when you get to the civil service website, I will show us everything in 10 minutes anyway. Just got to go through here. The civil service page, first thing is that there will always be a generic page, applicant stage. There are 4 stages. What I named the 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth one, generic applicant stage. That one, they don't need anything. Don't worry, I'll show you this. There's no, but they won't ask you anything. They just want to know whether you're eligible. They won't ask for CV, no cover letter, just to know your eligibility. Once you go through that, then it will now take you to the next stage, where to ask it. That next stage, depending on the role, most times it asks for you need to do some
Sorry, we can't hear you again.
We can't hear you, Niyi.
Can't hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, so sorry. Okay. Okay. So said the aptitude test, math and English. Most roles, some other roles too may require judgmental reasoning. Those ones are more difficult a bit, but I mean, once you do the math and English, you pass that, then you go to the next stage. But I might tell you that some people even use this called AI too. They just go to ChatGPT, tell them in the mathematics and English, and even the judgmental reasoning. I've seen that. Okay. But once you pass, the pass mark does not depend on you. It depends on how many people passed. So they weigh the scores and they decide whether you pass or not. Once you pass, even you go to the next stage, which is where you will now put in the CV. Because once you pass that test and aptitude test, the aptitude test, then it allows you to put in your CV, your cover letter, and the cover letter, what they call cover letter in civil service, they call it personal statement. The same as your cover letter. I'll show you. And they don't accept any attachment. Everything is put on the portal. Everything is put on the portal. But may I explain that this stage 2, that once you pass the aptitude test, even if you do not make the interview, you did not get the job after the interview, that your test score is banked for 6 to 12 months. Most times 12 months that you will need to do. If there's another role, let's say it's a senior officer or a grade 7, if you want to apply for another role similar to that, another grade similar to that, you will not need to write another test. Once it takes you to that test, it will just automatically check and pass you to the CV stage. Now, after the CV stage, if you're able to, the CV stage, they apply for the interview. The interview is so easy. I would say it's not that easy, but I think compared to many interviews that I've done in this UK, civil service it's easier. The one, at times they even guide you, that they guide you towards the answers. If there's something you miss in the interview, they will go back that, okay, you've answered 2 of these points. What about this point that you didn't tell us? So that if you don't pass the interview, you know that it's not that nobody does not like you. You just know that you yourself, you are unable to explain yourself or to answer the question. And most times, there's only one interview. I've never seen anybody that did 2 interviews. Maybe I've done, but at least once I know, one interview, video interview. But at times too, some ask for physical interview. I did one about 3 weeks ago, about a month ago. It was a physical interview. Yeah, but at times, if you complain, they will allow you to do video interview. Okay. Now the qualifying criteria. Most times, like I said, for Nigerians, Commonwealth citizens, you qualify. Commonwealth citizens will qualify to, I think, 9 out of the 10 jobs. There are some jobs that are for residents, actually. But I can tell you 9 out of the 10 jobs, they are for you, Commonwealth citizens, Nigeria, you qualify. And some roles require security check. For example, yeah, security check anyway. And the kind of security checks, whether data DBS, which was everybody knows that, gets that DBS. There's the BPSS, there is SC, the security check. They have this MPPV, CTC, counterterrorism. They have all those things. At times, some roles require this. For example, the first job I got at the civil service was a right manager role. They did all the checks and co. But at the end of the day, when they got to this SC security check, out of 11 steps, they got to the ninth. They now said I did not pass the security check. That was how I lost that. But that was the first. That was the first one. The first one I applied. They put me on hold. They put me on hold, just like in this. After the interview, they put me on hold. So when I did second one, they gave me I got the security check. They said I did not pass the security check. A week after the one that was put on hold, they said to me that that one that the role was open. They did my checks for about 1 month. Again, that was the no requirement security check, and that was how I entered. I know BPSS 3 years resident in UK, LC 5 years, and this LC that's the one that I did not. That's why they didn't give me that one. I believe, yeah. Then when you are applying for civil service role, at times if you are, of course, you know that if they are employ many people, let's say there are 5, your chances are higher than when you have only one role. And most times I realize that when they even put number of roles, 1, it might not mean 1, because they tell you there are 5 locations. That means they need 1 person each at that location. So at times when they say 1, just check the number of locations that are there. That's the number of people they actually want there. I will show us this. Then location, which location are you want to apply to? Location is important. I realized over time too. That because if you choose Birmingham is one of the biggest sites. And if you choose Birmingham, the competition there will be high. But if you choose somewhere like Plymouth, that one, they might not have many people that apply there. So it's easier. You have higher chances of getting selected if you choose all those remote locations. For example, like they have the cutoff mark. I've seen a situation where the cutoff mark for Birmingham was 65%, but for the other one, for the remote location, 20%. So if you don't mind, if you want to go to those remote locations, the chance of getting in is you have more chance of getting in when you choose such areas. But one thing is this: once you choose a location, that's where they will consider you for. They won't, yeah, that's where they consider you for. So if you get a job, you are going there. You are not going to another location. They are strict about that. Though most time they ask you to choose the first 3 locations that you preference. But the first one, that's what they choose most of the time for you. This I mentioned, I put stage 3 because I put the same color. So that this stage 3, which is the major reason why I want to show us, this presentation, this stage 3. The stage 1 and 2, no problem. But this stage 3, they ask for, I'll show you all this thing, don't worry. They ask us the employment history. The employment is your CV, and your CV contains 2 things: the employment history and the previous skills and experience. Under the employment history, all they want to see is that where you work, the role you work, the company you work for, and the duration where everyone have been working with them, maybe 2020, June to 2024, April, things like that they want to see. Then there's another area called previous skills and experience. That one, you now give the details of your accomplishments, what you have done there, your job duties, and of course, we all know it tailors to the job requirements. We know that. Then the next thing they have for personal statement. The personal statement, that is what they call the cover letter. You write whatever you want to write there. At times, it's 750 words, at times 1,200 words, at times 1,500 words. They put the specific number of words there that they want. You paste everything inside, and they name blind. That means you don't want to see your name. They don't want to see your university there. They don't want to see your phone number, anything. They don't want to see that on that personal statement. There's a place where you put all those ones so that of course, we don't know this. Yeah, we don't know this. That's what happens at the civil service site. Of course, then I mentioned the location, the interviews. When you get to the interview anyway, of course, we know this STAR method, but there is something that is so important that I explained to us concerning this interview, that they ask for They ask for civil service behaviors. This part is so important. And there are 9 of those civil service behaviors. Most of the interviews, they ask you questions about maybe 2 or 4 of those behaviors. How they ask you is that one of them is, let's say, leadership. They will say that, okay, they will just ask you to demonstrate uh, how you qualify for this role and just explain your leadership competencies when you have led a team to do something. They will just ask questions about one of those 9 civil service behaviors. Delivering at pace is one of them. I will show us. There are 9 of them. I'll show us. So most times, the one they will ask you at the interview, they will tell you upfront they will tell you, I mean, in the advertisement, that these 4, they are the role you are applying for, that there are these 4 civil service behaviors that are related to that. So they will tell you, so you already know the 4 they will ask you questions on. So it's for you to look for, I mean, it's an example of leadership, how you have led a team. Friday, we write that one down, and when they are interviewing you, you just begin to regurgitate that. Yes, that's that what happened when I did mine. Okay. Then lastly on that, if you are successful in the interview, at times they do a background check, and of course by now of all we know post up. When I did my background check for the first one, I did not know post up. Somehow they said they told me that they couldn't access your country. They told me. So after some time, because they said that you know pass the security check. Later I got to know about post up. So the second one, where they asked, I just went to post up. I applied the over 2 days. 2 days they gave me the post up stuff that I needed. I sent to them. So that's why I believe we know that. And if you did not pass the interview, if you pass the interview, background check may take 1 to 2 months. And if somehow you did not or not successful in the interview, you can be in the waiting list. They'll tell you the waiting list. Like I told you, the second one that got me in, I was on the waiting list, and after about 3 months, I was called in. And then civil service jobs, most of them they don't sponsor. But some do sponsor. It depends on your role, how critical is your role. Your role is out your head of your team lead. I mean your head of department. If you feel strongly, it can put a word for you, but it's rare for civil service roles. It's rare. Okay. Can you see my screen on this success profile? Can you see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Can see this sorry, division of behavior. These 9 behaviors that I talk about. It says seeing the big picture, changing and improving, making effective decisions, leadership, communicating and influencing, working together, developing self and others, managing the quality of service and delivering at peace. They will tell you which of them they will ask you question on out of the 9. When I applied there were only 6. I got in here today, there are now 9. Before there were 6 as at the time I was applying there. But so when you are when you are doing the interview or when you are writing your personal statement, they ask you to demonstrate one of these, and you use the normal star approach to demonstrate that. Okay, just show us all these theories I talk about. Let me show the practical of this. Okay, I've logged on to civil service sites now. I've logged on. It knows me anyways as a staff anyway. But just show us. Okay, I've applied. I tried to even apply to some today so that I want to show us. Okay. Um. Okay. Support. Okay. Okay. These are the ones I just tried to try some too so that I'm able to show us. These are the ones I've applied for these ones, but I have not finished because application started. Application in progress. Progress. These are progress, but I've not finished. So let me use this one. This second one. Just one role. Okay. Uh role One role anyway. So this role you can see so if you want to start, let me say from here now, here guidance, there's you story, continue. Yeah, will take time. Okay. It takes to be eligibility. Eligibility, that's where we talk about are you a civil servant? I'm a civil servant right now anyway, whether if let's say yes or no, it doesn't matter. Let me say no anyway. They say yes or no, fine. But now, do you meet a requirement? Yes. That requirement for this nationality, I'm in Nigeria, Commonwealth. Would you have you have the right to remain and take up work? Yes, I don't want to take up time on that. Then the name, he asked me for this. Can see names and co, all these my phone numbers and co. Do you have disability? No. Do you have adjustments? No. Am I a veteran? No. Okay, diversity, all those diversity stuff, all those stuff, we know that. We don't know. By the time I finish, the declaration, submit. As the first stage, no CV, nothing. If you just check maybe all those British, all those, yeah, this one doesn't have anything. Yeah. So you can see the next thing takes me to this site now. The second stage, they continue. More times, if requires you to write a test. From there, it will just take you to the it asks you to do the to do adaptive test immediately. But if it does not require, like this one does not require, continue. And you continue the application, you can now see as for the CV. The CV, I come here, I put the employment history, the just by the like I said, the company you work for, your role and how long you work there. That's the only thing you mentioned there, no details. But when you now get to previous skills and experience, these same companies, one by one, use all the things you've done there. Can see there's no limit to the number of pages you can write here. You just tell them all those things that are on your CV. Of course, you customize it to suit the role. And when you do that, okay, can see I've removed personal details. You don't need all those forms, things like your names and code. They don't want to see that. Okay, you continue. If I continue, it goes to, okay, you can see these 750 words for this one. It goes to this next one, personal statement. So personal statement, that's where you tell them, there's your cover letter. Make sure you write it well. That you 750 words for this one. Okay, let's say I continue. Continue after that. You can see your CV, personal statement, preferences, where the first place, if I prefer London, maybe the first one. If I say Bristol, so next, Manchester. But once you pick, whichever you pick as the first choice, that is where they are taking you to. And the competition in London, yes, I mean, you'll be competing with everybody there. So I realized that Birmingham is one of the most. But if you go to maybe Newcastle, all those remote areas, Telford, you won't see many people that will compete with you there. Okay, from there, continue. Okay, the role specific questions. This one, do you have the right to work in UK? That's not the question now. Do you currently have or require visa sponsorship? If so, put it there. Yeah, all this like this one now. This one requires I think UK residency. Can say UK residency may range from 3 to 5 years. So this one can require security check or BPSS. So they just want to know that. And once you put it there and you continue, that's all. That's all it takes to apply for civil service role. Can see, I've applied to NHS and so difficult. You have to tell them your behavior, about 10 things, begin to write, which I use AI to write these days. That's all about civil service application. So it's now left for you to provide and write in your personal statement the way you write it well. You all know that. And prepare for the interview. Only one interview, video interview. Yes, and that does it. I believe it's simple enough as it's simple enough to apply. Please, if you tell your friends, your cousins, tell them, your church members or your mosque members, tell your communities that they should feel free to apply for Egypt service role. And when you work there, you will enjoy it. I can tell you. You enjoy the work-life balance, excellent. 2 days, 3 days at work, 2 days at home. Yeah. Thank you. If you have any question, I would like to take
Hey,
question. Thank you.
thank you. Thanks.
I have a
Yeah.
question.
They have some
Yeah.
questions. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Ola.
Yes, thank you very much, Nii. That's well presented and well researched. Thank you. Yes, I was going to ask that you said they will ask some question to write English and maths. I've applied a couple of times. It never took me there. Is it that my own role does not require those questions? That's number one. And then number two, like I said, I never went through, I never got to, they'll just write back and tell you that, oh, sorry, you didn't meet the requirement, you didn't meet this, you didn't meet that. I'm wondering what the issues are. That's the second question. Then the third one, you mentioned something like post-app. What is that about? I don't understand it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, the aptitude test, it depends on the role. For example, the one which I showed you just now, that one did not ask us to do aptitude test. The one I did, I entered with the ask for aptitude test. Some will ask for reasoning, reasoning test. That reasoning test can take you about 3 hours. Most of their tests, it does not have a time limit. Like, it doesn't have time. You can do it for 3 days if you like, no problem. Yes, so maybe some higher roles may not require that, but I've applied for some that require that, some do not require that. It depends. Yeah, but one day you apply and one will, if one asks you for ask you. For example, there's this one that this one that applied for this one at this compliance was there. By the time I applied, it asked me it asked that I should do the test. In fact, the reasoning judgmental test, it didn't have me for aptitude. For judgmental test, that way it took me to straight. So if it asks you for that, fine. But if it does not, but once, if it did not ask you for that, no, you just proceed to the CV stage. Good for you. Good for you. And if you're able to pass that test, just do that it back for at least 6 months to 1 year. So it depends on what they want at that time. Yeah, maybe they don't require that. Second one said that they always bounce you. Yes, no, it was not the first one I applied to the past people, until I started knowing about this. Because I started knowing about how to make the application. I realized that after I wanted to change some rules then, after the first time. So they were passing it again. And I said, let me look for the one that I applied with, the one that I applied for, the one I was used to recruit me in. So I looked at that. It was there I realized that that the CV part and the personal statements and the previous skills and experience, that there are two different things. I realized that the one I applied for that they recruited me, that the way I presented that was different. So since then, I started following that. That's why I will say that when you ask for CV, the first thing that CV asks two parts there. The first one is your employment history. That one is just about mention where you worked. Yeah, the other one, that's a previous skill experience, write everything. At times, they might collapse into one. Previous skill experience or employment history, only one of them. If they have that, you don't need to, you just put everything, both the roles and the details, you put everything together. But the personal statement will always be different. That is where you have your cover letter. So when you're applying, check the roles, the job description, check it, make sure that maybe about 80 or 90% of what they ask for, you tailor your CV in line with that. For example, how many CVs? Yeah, when they say data related roles, I look for the role will change to data, the role I'll be doing if I just change. So you have to just package it. Because the packaging, I do a lot of that. So you package that. So look at that. And I will advise these days the competition is fierce. It's more the competition is so it's so competitive these days. What I advise again, when you write your cover letter with your personal statement, take it to ChatGPT. I just take the ChatGPT. The same thing I wrote, it will present it in a better way. Because others that you are competing with, they will use the same thing. So maybe your job description, take it to ChatGPT, send your CV to ChatGPT, the job description, the job description and your CV, give it to ChatGPT to marry everything together. From there, you come up with a beautiful personal statement, which you can review. And with that, you may not miss many things. I think that will help. That will help. But what matters is that for every application, you must look at the content, what they're asking for, the GD, and your CV and your personal statement. Mostly personal statement should reflect that. Because most times they check personal statement more than CV. Yes. So I give by the time we apply by the time you apply, maybe few more using some of these strategies, they will call you. Yeah, it's not the one I applied for that they called me to. Yeah. Okay.
But Nii, I just one clarification. On the
sorry, let me just quickly mention POSAP. I forgot. POSAP is they call Nigeria police check. When I was coming from Nigeria, I went to Alagbon and they did police check. They gave me something. I did my thumbprint. But that one will not work here because they cannot verify it online. So they do not verify. I sent it to them. They just banned it. They said they couldn't. That's why they said they couldn't access your country. But when I got to posap.gov, if you just put it on Google, posap, POSSAP, you take to the site. I did this morning. I checked this. I still checked this. So put it there. That posap will ask for some stuff, and they will send you document to show that they have conducted police check. Now that police check, by the time you give it to them, to UK, to any organization, they can check that online. But the physical one I gave them, there was no way to verify that. So POSAP help them to verify online. Just send them the link, they can verify on their own. That's what POSAP does. Thank you very much for that.
All right, thank you. So we'll need your contact later so that if we have future opportunity, then we can get your assistant. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So this POSAP, can you use it to apply for when you're applying for the visa and they require police check? Can you apply for the POSAP instead of going to Alagbon and can you use this? Do you think can use for visa purposes?
Yes, you should use that because if you go to Alagbon will give you a paper document which UK cannot verify. I went to UK immigration site for the Nigerian where they still referred me to Alagbon to get that thing that I got, but it will never work. I can bet you because there's no way for Britain to verify it. But the POSAP they can verify it online. POSAP then it was 30,000 naira. I had it about £50 now.
Yeah, my experience wasn't like that. The company that did my BPSS actually just asked of my detail, and then they sent it to a counterparty in Nigeria who did the background check and go back to them.
Okay. Well, thank you. A different experience.
Yeah. So they just wrote to my organization that they have conducted it and they are fine with it.
Okay, that's good.
So I didn't have to do anything at all. I just filled it form.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Police verification is a lot easier now. I think it's more digitalized now, unlike the normal paper, because the first time I did it in 2023, early part of the year, it was that paper one, and I think my husband lost his and had to do it again. And it was a more digital document now.
Okay, maybe
which I think they have to issue from Abuja. So I think it's easier to verify now.
Okay. Abuja. Though the POSAP too, when I did mine then, POSAP headquarters in Abuja. So Abuja, in fact, I gave them a call and they picked it. And they were very friendly. I did Nigeria. That was like June last year. June or July. They were very friendly. I wanted, did in Nigeria? I was impressed. One lady picked up in Abuja call center and she attended to me well. Yeah, so but I started from the website there. Maybe if they are, I started from the website there. If there is a better way to do this, fine. But I think I just thought of POSAP of 30,000 there will not cost me anything. I just did it since I lost the first opportunity. I just did it and sent it to them, and they did not complain.
Okay, there are people who are not good in maths. So the aptitude test, is it maths or just a different kind of maths? Is it aptitude maths or maths?
It's math. It's not aptitude math. It's math. Math, not the aptitude one. Not aptitude one. It's the maths.
All right,
yes.
Right.
And English
I think
English, normal English.
All right,
yes.
thank you. Let's and the time is fast spent. Thank you, Nee.
Okay.
We'll see if we can get more questions later on at the end of the. Thank you. Let's at this point let's bring in Femi to give us some intricacies in terms of personal finance and also tax related matters. I think Femi is chartered accountant. I think he has some very good insight into things that we need to be aware in terms of personal tax matters. I think we had one session about sometime earlier in the year, but Femi is also there's been so many changes, so I think Femi is bringing to light some of those information. Yeah, Femi.
Yeah, thank you so much for the introduction. Like John said, my name is Femi Israel. I'm an accountant, and I want to thank John personally for his efforts, for your commitment to this association, for the research and help both personally and to members. Yeah, I've been struggling a while for jobs, and thanks to John as well, he's been helping out in that area. And at some point, I thought of, okay, let me create a job for myself if I can't get one from outside. And one of the things I thought of is writing some books. It started with the ones I'm very familiar with and the areas I'm comfortable with. And then later, I found some gaps in area of accounting as well. I started making calls with some of my friends who are in accounting practices, and I found out that they don't even have the idea that there are some major changes in tax for especially for this year and next year. So I went through it and I found out they were massive. So I decided to write a book about it and put it out there for people to be aware of it. It's actually massive changes. So from this point, I'm going to present. But before then, I want to thank members of this association for patronizing those books I put out there. I'm really impressed with the reviews, the encouragement, and I want to thank you also. Yeah, let me go straight to the presentation. Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can also use the presentation format. That's the book. I think the book on the bottom. It's like an open book.
Okay, hold on a minute. Let me see if I can see that.
Let's see. You just go down the bottom of the screen. You see like a book that's opened. You've left the. I can't see your screen any longer.
Yeah. Okay.
If you look at the bottom of your screen, just in case, let me see if I can see. Here you have notes, comments. Then on the right-hand side, you should see like a book before the PC. If you've seen that.
I'm having issue expanding it.
Let's see. Okay, you can share it like that. I think your screen one, I can't see the screen. I can see your slides on the side, but the one on the main screen is not there anymore.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Just close it and open it again. Close
Yeah,
and open it again.
let me close them. Share screen. Just a minute. Can you see it now?
Yeah, we can see. You can just use that like that anyway. Well, I thought you could make it a presentation mode. Then you can see the whole screen. I think it's better that way. But you can just continue like this. That should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me start with some background to it. Okay, yeah. So there are so many changes that they have made, and as you can see from the slide, there's a book I wrote, HMRC's 2006 Tax Trap. The book actually did not cover all the changes because that would be a lot of work, and I don't want to put too much jargons and relevance. I just pick things that are needed by most people. Right. So in terms of digital submission, in the previous year, it used to be optional. There is a template from HMRC, is a template where you can just put in your figures. But from next year, it's going to be the MTD will be in full gear. So, and this will involve use of software as well, especially for companies. Yeah, if you have maybe companies big or small, or you run a you maybe self or so what do they call it now? One-man business, or you're doing a self-assessment. There might be need for using software to file your assessments to do your returns from next year. So this it falls under this category as well. And then for companies, it's even more there because they have to replace yearly filings for quarterly filing. In fact, it's even 5 because at the end of the final one, you still have to do the final submission and the declaration. So it's a little bit more work, but then from their own point of view, from HMRC point of view, they recommend that it saves time, it avoids error. But the actual thing about it is that it's like peeping into your business because it's a step from real-time presentation. So as it's happening in your company, it's being presented straight to the HMRC. So all those tweaking, using of cash, putting some expenditure, we need to be substantiated with evidences that has to be acceptable by the software. So those are the clampdown that HMRC are bringing in. And many people will fall for it because it's not really popular, it's not really being publicized enough to get people ready for it. And also the penalties. Okay, I will get there anyway. So let me move straight to the second slide. Major changes. Like I said, the MTD, make that digital software, is now mandatory. Then quarterly filing because of time. Let me go straight to the third one. Key update on allowances. Personal allowances have been frozen for some time now. Yeah, we might say it's a stable thing, it's a good thing, but in the actual terms, because of inflation, that means we are paying more. And any adjustment, maybe any upscale in income, we mean that because the threshold is frozen as well, that means we are more prone into paying higher rate tax. So that's about it. It may look like, oh, yeah, it's been frozen for a while because there is likely no, in fact, there won't be change at least until 2028 from the HMRC when it comes to personal allowance and the threshold in which the basic rate moves to the higher rate. So when it comes to dividend allowance, it used to be 5,000. It was cut down to 3 to 2 to 1. Now the allowance is cut down to 500, which is a massive difference when it comes to the payment, when it comes to the income, and it makes a lot of difference, especially those who run companies and they are paying themselves dividend. Yeah, in all these things, all these changes involve getting professionals, because personal information, personal situations are different. So there is no one straight solutions for all those problems that will be created through this. Yeah, because I have so much slides, so I won't dwell so much on each slide. Yeah, the third one, I dropped this in. This one is not really in the book. The comparison with Scotland tax band. I'm sure not many people, it may not be so relevant to many people, but in their home case, they increase their starter band, the basic band. They have many band. They have the band. The first band is 19% charge, then 20, then 21, then 42, like that. So in their home case, it's a bit of more positive when it comes to the public view, the taxpayer view, because those bands were the bands were a little bit increased, so that to get to the higher band, there are some gap. So it's income or savings for taxpayers when it comes to Scotland and tax. Then, yeah, when it comes to people making income from online markets, yeah, there are a bit of clamp down on it as well, because from, I think, January 2024 or 2025, I'm not too sure now, there is a directive to online market, eBay, Amazon, Uber, all sorts of things like that. Yeah, to send details of income or sales made by people. Yeah, so it doesn't mean that everybody that are making sales online, we have to pay. Like I said earlier on, personal situation and the type are different. For instance, if you are selling personal item, maybe hot clothing, sort of things on eBay, depending on how much, depending on the level. For instance, if you are making up to 1,000, more than 1,000 sales, then you have to declare it. You have to inform HMRC. And for instance, if you are selling something like like art or artifacts, as soon as any one item is more than 6,000, then it's prone to it's liable to tax. So all these have to be disclosed. Having said that, they have the direct information from the online market, like I said earlier on, like including drivers and all sorts of. And just to chip it in, okay, I think I have it in the next slide, so don't let me be ahead of myself. Okay, yeah, NIC changes overview, yeah. Employee NIC are reduced, which is some savings, but NIC is about the only tax that is being retained, like as if you are saving money, and here is a reduction, a slight reduction from 10% to 8%. But the employer NI increase from 13.8% to 15%. And then the band is lower. In other words, there is no payment up to 9,100 before, but payment will start from 5,000 from new tax regime. So those are the differences. More money for the HMRC, less money for the employer, and I won't be surprised if the employer wants the employee to do more to cover for that. Right. So I go to the next one. Yeah, there are lots of changes with CGT. There are the rates are changing from 10% a few years ago to 18% now, and for higher band is 20% to 24%. And for property business, that has been a bit constant. Property income is a bit constant for a while now on 24%. But yeah, obviously there are different stroke of that as well. It depends on the income and situation people find themselves. Yeah, for landlords, side hustler, influencer, Uber driver, online seller, like I said earlier on, when they reach a threshold above 50K, 50,000, yeah, they will join in quarterly returns from this year. So from next year, it will drop to 30,000. From 30,000, they will do quarterly returns. And upper year 2028, it will drop further to 20%. So that bringing most people into that threshold where quarterly returns will be mandatory. And this will involve the use of software that will partner with HMRC, that will be compatible with HMRC. So it's going to be direct from your office straight. It's like you are reporting to your boss the way it's going. And to HMRC, it's like you are their clerk, so they're cutting some major works for you to do. So it's more work for your staff or for yourself, and it's less admin work for HMRC. And it's so much peeping into your privacy when it comes to your business. But that is where we are in the new regime. Yeah. New payments, late payment penalties. Like I said earlier on, with quarterly filing, quarterly return, if you miss any return, maybe it's late, even if it's late for a couple of hours, it's going to be on a point basis. That would be the first point. So when you have 4 points, then the 4 point is £200 penalty. So after the first 4 points, the subsequent missing any missing on any return or delay or late payment, late filing is £200 penalty. Right. So all the details of this are in that book. You may want to explore more, and you can even check on internet for further information. Yeah, but on the side of a child benefit charge, from 2025, previously the band is from 50 to 60,000. That is when you have child benefit. For every 1,000 you earn more on child benefit over 50,000 previously, you lose 10% of child benefit until you get to 60,000, where the whole of the child benefit, you have to return it, maybe through self-assessment or whatever. But they've changed that now. They've increased the threshold. The threshold is starting from 60,000 income to 80,000. So we have, instead of 10,000 band before. Now we have a threshold of 20,000. So for every 2,000 over 60,000 income, then you lose 10% of child benefit. And you don't have to register through self-assessment as it used to be. So there is a change now that you can make the difference, whether you have to pay back or whatever through PAYE. So that's part of the new changes that are out there. Right. The next one, this is a bit complex and I'm not going to spend my time there. It's about foreign income and then gain. The tax regime has been changed. There are a lot of changes which involve the residents. It also involves what qualifies as domicile, non-domicile. So details of this. Again, this is not part of the book, but then it's out there as some of the changes. So next I move to inheritance tax reform. Inheritance tax is a bit complex and a bit complicated. There are changes, minor changes here and there, and also agricultural property as well, all those where people make savings on tax. The HMRC have made series of changes to qualify for, especially agricultural equipment, to qualify for inheritance tax relief. There are few changes that have been made to update, in fact, to make, I would say, to make more money for taxman. So individuals that are caught on this may want to speak to professionals and then, see what they can do early, what they report. Sometimes it may involve early reporting of some sales, especially when it comes to gains. If you want to report gains, there are some changes you can make when it comes to reporting it in order to fall within the grace before the changes are in full gear. So finally, I hope I'm able to say a few things, and if there is any question, I want to throw it open at this point.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Femi, for that. So let's take some questions as we get most of some of these tax changes today. Any questions? Or is it that clear? It's so clear nobody has any question to ask.
I've got one question here. So if you've set up a company and that company isn't trading, right? Do you have to do a return?
Yes, you still have to do a return. And in fact, unfortunately, before now, you can just, you get template on HMRC website to do the return, but now you have to file with software.
Okay.
Yeah, although there are some free software out there, they are difficult to find. Some are difficult to manage. And I think there are some with HMRC itself, but I'm not sure whether it's going to be there. And one other thing that I will add for people that have company is to make sure they save their information that are on HMRC on your what do you call it now? HMRC website, because I'm not sure what is going to happen. Maybe they are going to take down. In fact, from now, it's been a bit difficult to file, to make submission to do returns from now, because they are trying to change into full gear NTD. So it's advisable to download information, filing histories, and things like that in case we need it for future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So does it apply to individuals as well? Because I know that individuals can also do returns. Because sometimes at the end of year returns also, if you earn above a certain income, you have to do like returns. Does it apply to individuals as well?
Yes, like I said,
in terms of software.
Yeah, the use of software. Yeah, it is also, it depends on the income level. For instance, this year, for individual 50,000 and above, have to do 4 quarterly submission. Even if you are doing them, but for, yeah, I see what you mean. For self-assessment.
Self-assessment, yeah.
Yeah, for self-assessment, you might not need what do you call it? The software to do your filing.
Okay.
Depending on the income as well. Yeah. It depends on the income.
So what's the rationale behind doing this for quarterly returns now, or quarterly self-assessment compared to annually?
Annually, yeah. Previously, annually is going to be 9 months. Normally, you have a period of 9 months after the end of the accounting period before you do the returns. But now, with software, they believe you are operating on real time. So there is no need for waiting that long to compile any documentation, and they're not expecting any cash sales or paper transaction. That's why they call it making tax digital. It's now a digital world. So for them, it is less work for them, because now what they will have done, they will be what they will have been waiting for at the end of the year. Yeah, they can monitor it bit by bit, quarterly. But for the public, apart from learning to adapt to the new changes, it might even create another admin work. Yeah, of course, you spend more on software. All those bits are there. And like I said, it's like peeping into your business, because as soon as it's coming in, almost like it's real time for them to see everything. So there is no time to, do any maneuvering or making any critical change. Yeah.
Sorry,
Larry, I think your hand is up. Larry's hand is up.
Yeah, okay. Just in addition to what Femi said, regarding the question that Jola asked about filing of return for a non-trading complaint. So basically, you can call HMRC to make the complaint dormant, so that you don't need to do that for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
So you only need to file with the complaints house, which you need to file the dormant account. So to get this done, engage a professional. You can call Femi as the accountant. So I always advise people make use of professionals, so that at least you'll be on the right path, for you not to make any mistakes and penalty.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, thank you for the addition. Yes, you can do that. Even for self-assessment, you can make maybe in a year when you think that there is no big changes, you can apply that you want to skip a year, but you have to give a good reason for that. So, for instance, if you are dealing with issues that do not need to do, or maybe you stop a particular work where you needed to be doing self-assessment and you think you will still need it in future, yeah, you can defy it. You can tell them for next year, I'm not doing a self-assessment. Or you can cancel it so that it will save you headache or filing or whatever.
Okay.
Sorry, John. Just wanted to add this to those who have just arrived in the UK. Some people have been applying for UTR number, this and that, somebody helping them. At the end of the day, they fail to understand that as a result of that, they will have to file for self-assessment. So ignorantly, some people have been incurring penalties. So don't assume that, oh, I've not traded now or this and that. As long as you have registered for UTR, if you know that you have not traded, please and please call HMRC to stop it.
To stop it. Yeah, that's advisable.
Thank you.
Sorry, Femi, I want to. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Yeah, sorry, I just want to clarify something. I don't know if it's been treated. If somebody is employed on, let's say, on a permanent role, your tax is being deducted, right, from the organization. Do you still need to do any personal assessment, irrespective of how much you are earning, whether you are earning more than 60,000 or 70,000 or 80,000 or something? Do you still need to do anything outside of the NI tax and all of that that the company has taken from your account?
No, you don't. You don't have to. Sorry, somebody was calling me.
Okay.
So you don't have to. If you are being, if you are if you register as a PAYE, you don't have to do self-assessment.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, but in case there are some maybe expenditures or relief that you think you are qualified for and it's not captured, first you can do it on your personal tax account with HMRC. If it doesn't accommodate it, because sometimes when you get there, it will tell you that you have to register for self-assessment. So on that basis, you can register for self-assessment. In some cases, if you are previously, like I said earlier on, if you're earning more than 50,000 and then it affects your child benefits, yeah, they will advise you previously that you have to register for self-assessment to, make up the difference, whether you have to pay back or you have to give them back entirely. It depends on how much you are earning and how much deep into the threshold that you are in. But now, like I said, it's been increased from 50 to 60 to 60 to 80. So, and they made a way where PAYE can accommodate all those changes. Just getting your payroll department, giving them your information, and they will update it. So yeah, you don't have to, except if you want to make claims like maybe mileage claim, maybe uniform,
No.
all those, and you can still do that to some extent
Yeah.
on personal tax account.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right. Any other question? I think it's time is fast spent. So I want to thank you, Lee, and also thank you, Femi, for the presentation. I believe we've gained something today. And yeah, I think let's I think to be informed is very, very crucial. Especially in the UK, with regard taxes and all that, and some things I'm getting to know myself, despite the fact I've been here for a couple of years. We also want to say thank you, everyone, and yeah, let's stay in contact. If you need any support, feel free to reach out. Don't struggle alone, and let's see how we can support you in any way we can. So let's catch up again sometime in the month of June, and yeah, have a enjoyable spring or stroke summer time. So yeah, so we shall speak soon. Thank you. Right. Have a good evening now.
Thank you.
Thank you.